Or is it? What's going on? Alright, okay, something new for today, bringing you massive value, as I would say. Good to be back. Took a much needed break. Staring at the stream, like, it seems like it's not working, but I think it is. So I'm just making sure this stream is working right, because something that usually is working is not working. I mean, maybe it's working, it's just not showing that it's working. There we go. I just had to refresh it. Alright, excellent health on the stream. And I, health. Give thanks every time for the excellent health and strength. And length of days. And all types of ways that vibe coding can improve our life and agentic orchestration. So, give thanks for the station, for the nation with the vibe coding information. And, you know, I'm going to get into what I usually do about this time. Continue with the agent build-out. Custom agents. And Hermes agents. All types of agents. So I would have to say, yeah. Time to do it. Time to get back into it. And, making the most out of what I got for today. Because can't be here tomorrow or maybe the next day, unfortunately. Really needed a vacation, but I got these obligation that I need to do that I'm not looking forward to. I just want to keep working on the stream with the business, but you know, that's life. Some things got to take care of. So just got to do what I got to do. At least I'm here today, so give thanks every time. Alright, so now I'll let you know what's on my mind. I can get straight into the work. Gonna go into the marketing flow. So, if you didn't know, I've got an agent on the cloud that's doing my weekly research that gets better each time. And, let's see here. It's got its research run for, it says July 10th, but that doesn't make sense. Huh. But then it says July 12th. Maybe July 10th is when I, like, changed some things with this agent, and it's, like, showing when I did the rescheduling of the cron, but I don't understand why it's doing that. But either way, it's got the new research showing July 12th, 9 a.m. yesterday morning. So let's start with that. Going through the research, and basically gonna start with the marketing that comes from that research. Alright, here we go. Let me get the research on the screen. There we go. So this is Railway. I am understanding more, like, you want to be naming each different agent. This agent's name is Compassionate Spirit. And I didn't give it that name. It was like the auto-generated name from Railway, but I like it, so I'm not going to change it. And it looks like it uses that same kind of theme for all the agent names. So I'll just let it go, and that way it takes that extra decision-making process. And if I want to rename it later, then that's what I'll do, I guess. But for right now, it's working like it's supposed to work, so that's the main thing for me. Alright, so we got starting container. I'll just go through these things one by one and have some fun seeing what's new. Alright. Grace investment machine. Raised $20 million for Series A funding to scale agentic AI systems for capital markets. So, a company building autonomous investing agents. Which is, I mean, I guess could basically be like trading bots. But autonomous, like I feel like a trading bot is an autonomous investing agent, but an autonomous investing agent could be way more than just trading bots. So it's interesting. Is this company basically creating trading bots? Or is it focused on investing agents, or maybe both? What requirements people would need to trust AI with financial decision making. But I mean, I think for now that's going to be like in a lot of people's minds. But you know, 5-10 years from now, it's just going to be like the norm. I don't think people are going to question it. I think a lot of people probably won't even know that's going on. A lot of these brokerages are probably just going to start silently replacing advisors with AI agents, and people will just leave their money there and forget it, and they won't even know it's happening. But we'll see. That's just my my intuition on how things are going to play out. An AI-enabled RIA launched, managing over $1 billion in assets. Using AI to assist human advisors rather than replace them. I mean, I'm guessing they were probably doing that anyway. More of these. Not even gonna talk about this one. Probably a scam. Indian mutual fund app. Builds a personalized portfolio, rebalances it automatically. Welcome back, Jobby D. It is I without the shades. I'm doing alright. A little bit of sunburn, but took a good break. And yes, it's been a minute. Took a break at the lake and sat in the sun, had some fun. So now the marketing has just begun. And good to see you back. Looking over the Stackivate weekly research, looking at the new advancements in AI, fintech, and finance. A lot of this seems to be advisors using AI. How about you, Jobby? Hope you're doing good. And you know, it's always good to hear that we got the extension again on the Fable 5. No doubt. So Fable 5 is still another week. At least we got it. Saw something about Claude 6 coming out in August. Didn't read into it too much, but you know, that would be nice if it was better than Fable 5. Cause it looks like that GPT 5.6 is definitely incentivizing Claude to do better. So it's good to see the competition every time. Give thanks for AI advancements. Looking like the USA is moving quicker on implementing AI into finance, and now UK is starting to do some reviews on how they're gonna deploy personal finance with AI. Yes, they keep resetting like at the last minute, and I mean, I'm glad they do, but at the same time, it's like, man, I was like doing as much work as I could to use like every last token of Fable, and then that's like twice in a row now that I've like been like, oh, that's awesome, we get it for another week, but I guess I didn't need to push myself so hard to get all that work done yesterday to try and use it all. So we'll see. Maybe they'll just like never take it away and keep us using it. OpenAI keeps pushing marketing, so Anthropic keeps resetting. That's awesome. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking if it wasn't for OpenAI coming out with 5.6, that we would be paying the API costs for Fable 5 right now. Maybe Fable 5 wouldn't even exist if OpenAI didn't exist. SpaceX AI, aka Grok, aka Cursor, is looking like it's about to kick some butt. I'm starting to see that on a lot of videos. People are comparing Cursor and Grok to Fable 5. And I need to look into that more, because Grok has been one that I've really not used except for just kind of playing around with it on X. So I gotta learn Grok better. I think sounds like Grok's really doing a lot. And what is up, Deep Web Impact? Respect every time. Good to see you here. Hopefully you're doing good. And you know it's a new day, and we still got Fable 5, so give thanks every time. So you're following them, I'm guessing you mean Grok on Twitter or X, and they are updating every hour. Sounds like they're working their monster over there. They're putting in the work. And I didn't know Grok was like an account you could follow on Twitter. I think I'm gonna see if I can do that right now. Alright, let's see. I'm gonna search for Grok. SpaceX AI, and yeah, Grok has his own account. Grok 4.5 is now available to try on the free tier. Use Grok build with any X or Grok account. That's awesome. Alright, so follow them real quick, and the SpaceX AI, why not? 8.8 million followers on Grok. 2 million followers on SpaceX AI. I don't know what SpaceX AI is. It looks like they're just talking about Grok on SpaceX AI account. It was trained with Cursor and offers frontier intelligence at leading speeds and cost efficiency. So that'll be interesting to see what SpaceX AI is, if it's not just another account to advertise Grok or something like that. But, Grok team. Elon has the Grok team versus the Cursor team versus the SpaceX AI team. Oh, so I need to follow Cursor too. There we go. God, his employees competing with each other. He's got his own, like, AI, capitalism competition within his own company. That's interesting. Cursor's got about a little under 500,000 followers, so just subscribe to all three. Thank you for that info. Follow them and the employees. Alright. Not sure how to find those employees, but I'll take a note on Obsidian. Find the employees for X, Grok, SpaceX AI, and Cursor and follow them on X. And that just made me think, I don't even think I'm following OpenAI. Should look that up, OpenAI and Anthropic. Claude's got its own channel. Claude Dev's got its own channel. Looks like it's starting to show me some employees right after, so that's cool. Alright, so let's get the OpenAI. Already following, I guess. Olama's got an account. Only 170k followers. NVIDIA Robotics. This is cool. About 140k. ZAI. Not sure what that is. Oh, the AI lab behind GLM. Wow, it's just showing me everything I need right now. Arena AI. Formerly LM Arena. I'm already following them, I guess. Cybersecurity news, why not? I could probably just keep going on. So that's good for right now. Definitely get the news instantly and those resets. There we go. The employees will post on their own, and I'll notice as they share their own company's news. So that's respect for that. That is definitely helpful. Thank you. Thank you. Gotta be making progress. More progress I make, faster I get. Loving going fast. What do you know? It just showed me a Hacker News that I just followed, and that's the first thing where it's getting some of my research. Treasury Bench. Open benchmark for personal finance AI advice. Public benchmark that scores how AI systems handle personal finance questions. See if Treasury Bench is on. Thought I had fixed OBS last time I streamed. I did not have any disconnection, but it looks like one just happened, so I'm gonna have to look into that. Hopefully that is just like a one-time. I think I gotta get a fiber optics or a cable. Sounds like the router might be having issues. Nino. Launched as a product pairing a dedicated CFP and CPA team with an AI platform that connects taxes, equity, investments, cash, and real estate into a single, always current plan. That's I feel like another thing about like every brokerage, they're all going to be competing with each other now to like implement AI the best. And I feel like, I mean, in a way, brokerage already kind of like help you with your taxes by, you know, giving you, I guess, that tax form every year. But I think there's probably more they could be doing. Yes, I did have AI look into my router, and that was really interesting. I did not know that was possible. AI was able to look into my router. Like, the main thing I thought was that, like, you know, something might have happened with like, it just, like, breaking or something, because it was the first time it did that. But it was able to look in and see the logs of, like, what time it cut out and the reasons it cut out. And it was able to tell me exactly what it was. The problem was not anything that I thought. It sounded like it was just that, like, a connection to a tower might have been like overused basically, so it wanted me to reset it to like hook onto a new tower. And basically it was telling me that, like, you know, it had me make some changes in OBS, which AI was even able to go into my OBS and help me make the changes so that it shouldn't drop the stream. And then the next stream I had no problems, but I did notice just now it like cut out and cut back in real quick. So what it was saying, like, was like basically I've done all I could do, and that the next step is, if it keeps happening, that I should get like a cable hooked up directly to my my desktop, and then that should fix the problem. That I think as I'm like doing more, I'm having more tabs and windows open, and maybe something to do with the RAM. So yeah, fingers crossed. And I forgot about it because it was working again, and now it just did that. But at least it came like right back on, because when it first started messing up, it would like go off for like a minute, and I had not seen it do that before. But that's so awesome, is like, you know, every time something goes wrong, it's like I learned something like really valuable, like AI being able to go into my router. I was like, that's pretty cool. Like, I had no idea. So now I know in the future. So this Nino launched as a product pairing. Licensed CFPs and CPAs make personalized financial plans for clients with AI as the delivery and aggregation layer. Don't really understand that. The delivery layer, like, it's just making the, like, just taking some of the work off the CPA and CFP's hands, and I'm guessing it just automatically like does the investments and the allocations. But I don't know, I'd have to look into that. Kraken AI. I have used Kraken a long time ago. Kraken is a crypto brokerage. If this is the same Kraken I'm thinking of. AI assistant inside the Kraken app. Helps users build an initial portfolio plan. New App Store app, alternative asset literacy. Looks like it's just like educating people on finance with AI. Sounds like just an LLM that helps people understand finance. A lot of new apps coming out. Micro learning app using TikTok style feed. Redirect doom scrolling towards learning. Something that could maybe help Stackivate. Something about whisper flow, it looks like. About the onboarding. Looks like they got one of the best onboarding flows, is kind of what they're saying. That I could learn from that. UK seems to be leading Europe in AI and fintech. Something with US Federal Reserve. Saying rules designed for large complex AI deployments should not apply uniformly across the industry. I don't know how they're gonna draw the line on that. It's gonna be interesting. And it's like, this stuff is changing so quick. It's like, okay, you know, like, I talked to a fintech attorney about, like, the way things are set up right now. And then 3 months from now, it could be very different rules. So I'm gonna have to stay on top of all this, make sure I'm not doing anything I'm not supposed to. But I think at the end of the day, the main thing is that, you know, what I'm seeing is that the majority of these banks and apps and brokerages that are implementing AI, they're doing it with the intention of making it so like people don't even have to follow it, so they don't have to understand what's going on. Like, just let AI handle it. But Stackivate is for people that actually want to learn and want to get better over time with the help of AI, and not have AI make the decisions for them. Which I think that's going to be still a lot of people, especially the way the laws are now. That, I mean, that's the main thing I think I should be communicating with Stackivate is like, hey, you know, AI can now do your taxes and it can do like your investments for you, but if it messes up, like, you know, are you insured? Are you gonna get reimbursed? Like, if someone, you know, steals your credit card, if something happens in your bank, you know, I think it's FTC. So that's gonna be interesting. I think that if anything, like, that should help Stackivate. Pour up some water. Looks like there's going to be, the UK is looking at putting regulations on LLMs for financial advice. I think the US has already done that. So this is awesome how it's this research is basically like not only giving me the research but tying it to, you know, how it's relevant to Stackivate. So this is awesome. I mean, this research like that I just read about that it automatically did, I'm guessing this would have taken somewhere between 5 and 10 hours if I would manually, like, you know, find all this stuff out. Even if I manually found it and had AI summarize it for me. But I guess I wouldn't need to do that because AI could just find it. But yeah, without AI, I would be doing 100 times more work. Alright, so that's that research. So now I'm going to open up Stackivate. Looking back at the chat, Mobbin might have the Whisper Flow onboarding flow for me to revert back to. I don't really understand. Like, I don't know what Mobbin is. But definitely look it up, and I think that's a good first question to ask Claude. I just read the research from this week. It was interesting. The advancements are moving quick. Looks like Europe is starting to follow the US and regulations, especially the UK. That seemed to be like, you know, where the majority of the news I saw from Europe was coming from the UK. Thought it was interesting that you brought up, or the research brought up Whisper Flow onboarding. And I got a few questions for you. The first one is like, can you better explain from this research what they're talking about with the Whisper Flow onboarding? From what it sounds like to me, they're saying that that is like, as far as apps go, that they have one of the best onboarding processes, and I could apply that to Stackivate in some way. Let me know, am I understanding this correctly, and give me like a quick like rundown of how Whisper Flow's onboarding process is different and better, and how I could, you know, apply that to Stackivate in any way that would make sense. I think the main theme I'm seeing here is that the majority of these new advancements in apps and banks and brokerages that are trying to implement AI are doing it to like make it so that their customers need to make less decisions. So it's going to be like more automated. And I feel like that's good for Stackivate, because then, you know, Stackivate is for people that actually want to like learn and get better, and they can use AI to help them, not to make their decisions for them. That seems to be like the central theme around like what I'm seeing on the research and like where Stackivate can position itself. So just to get started, let me know some feedback on the Whisper Flow onboarding, and then on what I'm seeing for the theme. You know, if that makes sense to you, that that's like the best theme, or if you're seeing like a bigger, more important theme, and then we can go from there. Mobbin. I'll look into it right now. Let me see, what is Mobbin. I was just hearing that Whisper Flow has a very good onboarding flow. And somebody in the chat brought up Mobbin, M-O-B-B-I-N. Do you know what Mobbin is? And like, how does it relate to Whisper Flow? Highly popular online library and research tool for UI UX designers. This is good to know. Let's see if that's on X. Yes, it is. Only 30,000 followers. I guess that's a lot, but compared to 9 million, but hey, I'm following it. Oh, okay, so it's like a library. Screenshots and step-by-step user flows from top-tier mobile and web apps. That's awesome. Yeah, definitely gonna have to look more into mobbing. Thank you for that, Javi. Interesting. I was just running a scan from yesterday for this week's research on Railway. I just read all the research. So, in the past, you were able to access that research. Not sure why you were not able to. Can you look into like why you can't find it? Because I definitely see it on Railway. And from what I understand, Railway should send it straight to the database. So let me know what's going on with that, why you're not able to access this research for this week. And then we can go back into the questions that I asked you with actually using the research. Mystery solved. So I was right. It went to Supabase like it should, but for some reason, Claude like forgot that it was there. It was looking at the own project files, not the Supabase. Digest is stored truncated. I don't know what that means. It ends mid-sentence in the database. Interesting. Finding all kinds of bugs. Oh, that's why. Last time I ran research was locally. Okay. Apparently there was a cap on the output, so they had to raise the cap. Still got 95% of the digest, not worth doing another one. Got enough to know what it's doing. Shouldn't have any KYC. The industry is automating decisions away, and the accountability for those decisions has to land somewhere. Can't land on the AI. Who's going to hold AI accountable? Exactly. Stackivate's position is keeping the decision and the accountability with the person and making them better at it. The research, the content pull, and my instinct all converged on the same theme independently. That's a strong signal that it's right for one of this week's videos, I would agree. Alright, so commit the fix that had to be made. And that's nothing, like, I mean, come on, what was that? 4,000 tokens or 40,000? Either way. No, only 2. Wow. Claude set that up to have max token cutoff of 2,000. That's nothing. Now it's 4,000. So like my research run is only 4,000 tokens. Like that's nothing still. And it basically did like 95% of it with 2,000 tokens. So that is awesome. That is totally worth me not having to manually wait for the research to be done each week and having it automatically done with the Cron. Even if I'm paying with it for API. That's the thing, it's like, you know, I could do a lot of this stuff that I'm setting up agents for with Claude or Codex or whatever, but the agents do it automatically. And if all I have to do is pay for the API, that's like nothing, that's like pennies. And then essentially, the tasks that have a higher cost, I can just do that, run it on a local machine with like a free model like Olama. But I just got to keep building these agents out and keep training them and get a better idea of how it works before I know which ones to put on local machine. These agents are really awesome. Like I really like building these agents and like making business systems and I can tell once I get this like marketing flow up, then I'll want to do agents that'll actually work with the code, and I think that's where the more of the actual Hermes agent is going to do better when it's like with coding. So looking back at the chat, Javi's calling it early. All right, same to you. Be well, and no doubt, thank you for the well wishes, and same to you. We'll keep on working in this niche, learning AI, be the trendsetters here. No more war. Rastaman says, stop the war. Increase the peace. Welcome to the chat, Frankie Thu. Respect to you. So, you want me to imagine I invented a new coding technology for the web. How would I market this as a single person? I think it's all going to start with understanding who your target audience is. Who are the people that you expect to use this? What is the value that they're going to get? The marketing would probably want to start by finding your target audience, the people who would get the most value from this, and go online. Have AI help you do research, seeing what their pain points are. Definitely talk to them. See if you can spark up conversations with some of these people. You know, ask them what they would want. You know, let them know what you're building. Ask them what they're like, you know, their main, I guess, pain points and like what they would want in a product like that, what they would want to use it for. And I think just go from there. I think a lot of it's going to depend, because, you know, marketing is not really one size fits all. I wouldn't want to apply the same marketing workflow I have on this Stackivate project to any other project I have. I think, you know, maybe like 50 to 70% of what I'm doing with this could be applied to a lot of other things, but I think with what you're doing, yeah, exactly. That's Jose covers lessons. Respect for coming in on the chat. Just never stop. Just keep on marketing. Marketing is never done. I think that's a good place for you to start. Define your target audience, your target market. Find their pain points. Talk to them. Get real specific about what they're looking for. Let them know what you're doing. See if they want to try it out and give you feedback. And go from there. You know, a big part of it is going to be finding where your actual audience is spending their time at. So I think that's the main thing, kind of what I was getting at with, like, you know, the same marketing workflow is not going to work with every product or project or service, because your audience is going to be on different places. So Frankie is saying worst answer possible. I don't understand what you're saying. Everybody from beginner to enterprise business processes. Part of the idea is a straight learning path from using it as a beginner to using it as a business. You mean the worst answer to my question? Oh, okay. So you're saying your target audience is everybody from beginner to enterprise business process. Exactly. That is the worst answer, because that's way too broad. Even if that is everybody that you think would use it, I would say narrow it down as much as you can. Pick one really narrow niche that you think would get the most benefit from it right now, and market just to that niche. And then understand that niche, and then branch out to, like, you're saying, you know. Well, if you have any more specific questions, I can keep trying to help, but it sounds like you already know this stuff, so I don't really know how to help you if you already know the answer to the question you're asking me. I tried to help, but definitely feel free, you know, if you have any more specific questions, like maybe I can give you some advice that you don't already know. So you thought about it a lot. That is good. I'd have to say, definitely have AI help you as well. And I don't know what kind of budget you have. You might want to look into paid ads. But I always think that it's best to test out paid ads with organic marketing first. Use organic as like a testing ground for paid ads. It's alright, no worries. You're saying it's more of a general thing. Well, just let me know if you have any more general questions too, I guess. That's fine too. More than 1 in 4 UK consumers trust GPT, Claude, and Gemini for financial advice. Mostly unaware no consumer protections apply. How can it be more than 1 in 4? Is that like 1.5 people? So Frankie's saying in the chat, you code open source software and want to make it profitable in general. That's something I don't know too well. I'm definitely like starting to have some ideas of open source product, software, service type stuff that I want to build. And I'm kind of seeing how other popular open source projects are being monetized, but that's definitely something to where I'm still learning. So I think the best advice I have is basically like look at other, like the top open source projects and see how they're monetized. Maybe even the most, maybe like the top open source projects are not the most profitable. So maybe like get your search down to the most profitable open source projects. And Alpha, respect every time. Welcome to the chat. What am I doing? So I'm doing the basically working with the first agent in the marketing flow for Stackivate. It did the went over the weekly research run, and now working with like basically creating some marketing content from that, learning about new advancements in AI and finance. Very interesting stuff about, you know, things are basically moving a lot quicker than I thought they would. A lot of it's coming down to it's being implemented. AI is being implemented in a lot of like brokerages and banks and finance apps, and it seems like the main thing it's trying to do is like making it so that the consumer or the user doesn't have to make as many choices, and it just does stuff for them. But at the same time, it's not regulated, so it's like governments are passing laws making it okay for companies to use AI for financial, gain, financial decisions for their customers. But if it messes up and makes a mistake, then the actual like bank or brokerage is not held accountable. And like the question is, who is held accountable? It's like nobody. So essentially my product, the Stackivate, is all about helping people develop their own unique investment style, using AI to help them and get better over time and recognize patterns to like create their own style. So it's like solving this problem, and I'm learning how to basically like use AI to not take away choices from people, but to help them make better informed decisions so they can actually get better over time and not have to just like blindly trust AI to like manage their money, which was what looks like the direction that the industry is going. So just training these this agent fleet for the marketing and learning in the process. So Frankie Through is saying you question mark. Not sure which oh, I see. Yeah, you were just wondering who he was talking to. Yeah, build the deck. And like I was just thinking too, like Frankie, like what you're saying is your product is really for a wide range of people. Kind of like, Google is like for everybody. But I think maybe to sum up what I was saying better is start with a real small group of people and have those be like, your testing people. The people you think would benefit most from what you built. And even though it's for a wide range, I think you'll get a lot of value off of just starting out with a very, very narrow range as like a test group. Alright, so here's the visual aid deck for the video that this first video that I created. Not bad. Push it. Alright, so it's asking me to generate the thumbnails, but I have some questions for it first. Cool. So before I generate the thumbnails, I have some questions really quick. The first one is, so like this deck is being pushed to GitHub, and I'm wondering, like, usually I know it's not a good idea to push images to GitHub, but is it just like the URL for the deck that's being pushed? If not, is it okay to push these images to GitHub? It seems like they would take up a lot of data from what I understand, and I wouldn't really want to do that. And beyond that, I'm wondering about, like, you know, the agent for this. So, like, this seems like, as far as the flow goes, this seems like the next agent in line. I know I'm already, like, training the agents for the replies, but that's almost, like, not part of this flow. So basically, like, what do you think about the next agent being creating the 2 or 3 full videos for each week based on the research? I guess as far as my input, I don't see that big of a problem if the agent goes and automatically creates the video ideas and the, you know, the kit that goes with it, with like the deck and everything like that, the thumbnail prompts. If the same agent would be creating all that stuff, I'm not sure, or if it should be like broken down into separate agents, because it's all about, you know, them not spreading themselves thin and being able to get better, writing to the database. So like, right now what I'm doing, even though I'm doing it manually, I'm wondering, like, is this, you know, training the agent at all? Because it doesn't seem like I really had to give too much input. Like you said, my read from what the main theme was exactly what, you know, the I think, like you said, you got, and like the main research like picked up. So like it already seems like I'm like understanding it right, and it would save me time to not have to like manually have you go and create all this stuff. If, like, you know, the agent just did it as part of the, like, the workflow each week. You know, the first agent does the research, and then like I said, I don't know whether it's one or more agents that do this whole process of the video idea and the thumbnails and all the data that goes with that. Let me know what you think. Sometimes I feel like I ramble on too long with the AI, but it's all right. Just doing my best to keep it at like one question. Feel like if I'm rambling, but it's all like asking like one question, it's not that big of a deal. It's when I start asking like 3 or more questions in like one prompt that I think I'm not getting the best quality feedback. Welcome to the chat, Orca Free. I'm not so familiar with your terminology, but hey, sounds good to me. Scope it. Roaring like a lion. The crowd roared like a lion. The jam session was awesome. And Abraham, respect, welcome to the chat. I think, are you talking about Stackivate? Because there are 10 spots on the founding member wave 1. And I don't think you sent anything twice, so no worries. I only see the one message. Maybe you sent it twice, but it's only showing it to me as one message. But I'm just not sure. I think you're talking about the wave 1 lock-in for life for the founding members. Let me know, do you have any questions about that at all? And Masked Mage, respect every time. Yes, AI works better if you give it one task at a time and have it focused down. It will do task lists, but definitely the quality won't be there. I feel like if you want to get the best quality, stick to one, question per prompt or one point. Basically, like, I used to do that a lot in the past. I would like try to ask it like 3 or 4 questions at a time. And I'm getting better at just sticking to one question, but I'm still kind of like, I'm vibing, so I'm kind of rambling sometimes with that one question. I feel like I'm maybe saying the same thing twice, but just definitely being aware of it, and awareness is the first step to improvement. So, consciousness, awareness, and stay focused, making progress. So, all the thinking goes into each prompt, making the output better. Definitely. Definitely AI. AI is like getting to know a person in a way that thinks just like different or in their own way. And the more you communicate with it, the better you understand how to get the best output out of it. Definitely what I'm trying to do. And yes, there was a lot in my last request. I kind of gave it like one simple question and then went on to like a bigger one, and I should have just done the simple question, been patient, got the results back, and then given it the second question as just one prompt. I'm still not perfect, still catching myself, and thanks for noticing that, because I could have been more patient there. Also, if using free models or cheaper models, the context window isn't big enough to handle a task list. Definitely. I like Gemini for just doing, like, if I have a task list, I can just like fire off like one question, send, the next question, send, because it's so quick at getting back. And like even here, I could have probably, because like I'm using I think high effort, so I could have easily just switched it to like medium or low effort, and it would have came back quicker with a question like that. I don't think that would have mattered. So do I have a Codex subscription? Yes, I do. What do I think of Soul? I think I have not tried it much. I've only just like tried it like for like 15 minutes and then talked to a bunch of people about it and saw some demos of people using it. But I think that it is it's saying it's the most capable model yet. I agree. The main thing I like about Sol that I really want to spend more time to use more is the browser control. From what I understand, Sol is way better than any other model, at least that I've used, for doing tasks in the browser. Claude can do some browser tasks for me. I think mainly if it has like an API or access to it, but most of them like it's not able to do. So I want to alter my workflow so that I'm using Claude for building, and then if certain parts of the build, like I have to go and like create a new account somewhere and get an API key and then like put it in the project. That's a very common task. Change, rotate an API key. Other tasks that require browser use, then I think that's where I would hand off to Soul, I guess, because it's Soul like the sun. And then I can have that automate the browser, do the browser tasks, and then just like go back to Claude for the building. So that's the main thing. I think that computer use, I've been waiting for the computer use agents to get way better, because that's like the most time consuming, annoying thing is it helps navigating through some sites, but it's usually just not up to date. So when it can do everything computer use, then it's just going to save me so much time and headaches. So that's awesome that it's done that. And I just need to... I took a much needed break over the weekend, so I only really had like a day or two before I took my break. But now I'm back at it. Fortunately, I got some things I gotta do for the next day or two, but I'm really excited to use it more. You use Codex 5.6 on max thinking. On standard settings, you have an open shell environment that runs Hermes Agent, Codex, and Claude. All within a Docker sandbox. Okay. Each agent in its own container. And essentially that's how I'm setting my agents up. So I'm going to start like that, and then I'll find the agents that would make more sense to run locally. And then I'm just going to get a dedicated, like a Mac or essentially a dedicated computer just to run the agents that cost-wise would make more sense to run locally, and make sure that they don't have access to like my main desktop or laptop. So interesting enough, in your app, you can hook right into Codex and build it out from within the app itself. Like, that is next level. In your app, you can hook right into Codex. Build it out from within the app itself. Interesting. So you built your app so you can basically talk to Codex through your app, is kind of what I'm getting. So that is money, because like right there, if I understand this right, then you wouldn't even, a lot of things you wouldn't even need to tell it. It could just automatically notice if like a bug comes up, and then it could like, you know, automatically just fix things that you're not even aware of. But that is a good idea. Awesome, I'm understanding that right. So that is I'm gonna take a note right now. I feel like I've looked into that before, but I want to do more research on that for my own projects. Research creating features in my app that I can talk to Codex or Claude and have it, you know, do fixes or builds, or automatically with agents even straight from the app, to cut out the project or VS Code or terminal as the middleman. And that's what it sounds like, that kind of agent. Like, with my marketing, these custom agents are better than Hermes agents. Hermes agents, it sounds like, are better for, like, coding tasks than, like, marketing tasks. So basically, that would be more of, like, a Hermes agent type task, it sounds like, than, like, a custom agent. But I just need to do more research on that, I think. That is definitely in the plan. Just building out these agents one at a time. Already got the workflow created, training them so that when I do build them, they're already, you know, kind of locked in on the task. That I'm not like just handing the agent a fresh task that I haven't done before. Just learning as I go, staying in the flow. So you're saying a Hermes agent is a wrapper around OpenClaw. They're meant to be built out more. Definitely, like, I think what you're saying is they get better over time. They learn from their tasks. The more times they do a task, the better it gets. And that's why like you want to have Hermes agents, like each agent should be focused on one particular task. Um, but the main thing with like a Hermes agent or an OpenClaw is that it seems like we as the creator do not have much control over how it learns and gets better. Whereas like you can build your own custom agents that are, you know, it's going to take a little bit more effort to build them, but you're training these agents through the database. And it might be like, you know, a little bit more manual training, but I think the output in the end and over time is going to get better. And over time, it would take less and less manual training on our end as like the orchestrator. But definitely this agent stuff seems to be like the cutting edge of where this technology is right now. And it's good to have you guys here to talk about agents like this, because I'm just learning as I go. I designed originally my first agents to be Hermes agents, but then as I did more research, what the conclusion I got from my research was that for these marketing agents, I would get better results from like a custom agent than a Hermes agent, but with things like coding tasks, it'd be better to do a Hermes agent. So I'm just gonna, you know, I'm build fast, fail fast, just build these out, put them out there, have them start working, and then I'll learn the most. And then like having a bunch of different agents doing different tasks, I think over time I'll get a much better idea of like, you know, how to design these agents better over time for certain tasks and like which agents to hand things off to. And welcome to the chat, Automato, respect every time. You think there's a Claude setting you can enable, it will watch the repo and fix issues, tickets, etc. I think maybe that's the Claude tasks. Otherwise, I'm not sure, because I know Claude task is basically like you could put a schedule for it to like check that stuff. Sounds like something you could maybe even do with a loop. But definitely that's another thing, is like certain things, maybe a Claude task would be better than like an agent. So kind of what I'm doing right now is also setting up certain tasks for the Claude tasks. And I think it's just going to be like building these things out. And like I said, like over time, I'll get a better idea of which use cases work better for like which type of agent or even a task through Claude. Because some things like, you know, if Claude can do the task in the cloud off my subscription just as well as like a customer Hermes agent would, then it makes way more sense to use Claude task. But another part of it is too, like I want to build systems that are not dependent on any specific agent, like an LLM, like a Claude or an OpenAI. I want to build out systems that basically, who knows, like maybe one day, for whatever reason, like anything could happen, and I just want to be safe that my systems that I build, business systems and agents and everything like that, have their own dashboards and are controlled by me, and I can just change the agent if I ever have to. But the process is like locked in and it's not reliant on any one particular provider. So like OpenClaw, Hermes, etc. are built by NVIDIA. I did not know that. I know Hermes agent is like a Nous research, but maybe that is part of NVIDIA, so that users can build products around them and on top of them. That is I gotta look more into that, because I feel like once I get to know these agents better and how they work, like that's something I was thinking, like I could definitely find a way to provide a lot of value with building, you know, like I guess customized versions of like agents, like maybe a customized version of a Hermes agent that works better for marketing than like the way it's set up right now. It sounds like it works better for coding. And you're saying, yes, you can train your own agent, but for for that would need its own ML, NL, and its own LLM likely. Yes, and also its own database. So that's part of it, having its own database. Because even then, like, I don't want to be relied on Hermes agent database, like how it's storing the data. I was looking into it before. I don't remember exactly how that works, but I want everything to be like not reliant, that I can just change any provider whenever I want if I have to, or just if I want to. The Claude might not always be the best provider. Open Codex might not be. I might want to change and try different things. Database is a big part of it, and definitely I really enjoy like figuring this stuff out and learning how to use the best use case for it. So we're all just learning as we go. This stuff is so new. I feel like this is really like we're so early on this trend. I think this stuff is going to progress, and me is like, getting into this not as like a developer or a coder, but as an entrepreneur. I got into learning this vibe coding and agentic orchestration with more of the goal and the pain point of wanting to build systems for my businesses and agents to help me just have more time to do more. So it's like automate one process at a time and build agents. And the more processes I automate, the more time I have just to focus on like the CEO level tasks. And the more it's cool too, because the more I build these agents out, the more I realize like what's possible with agents, and more things that I thought were possible as I build. So it's all just going with the flow. So Automato in the chat is saying, I'm not wrong for wanting to be locked into a model. But right now, the $200 a month is subsidized to the point you would be silly not to use it. Exactly. Especially with Fable 5 right now. So, I think hopefully in the future, I can find a way to bring down the costs. But for right now, it's like, I just want to use as much as I can and get the most usage out of it as I can, because, a lot of people are thinking that costs are going to go up over time. So, at least for like, the main Anthropic and OpenAI. But maybe other providers, other agents, the cost will go down. So, no one knows tomorrow. We just got to do what we can with the tools we got right now, which, I mean, give thanks, because these are like, I've been hoping for stuff like this my whole life. I just didn't know it would be this awesome. When AI first came out and I was just using it to like help me do research and create content, I mean, this is on a whole nother level. Once I started using it for coding and creating business systems, I'm like, this is just like, if I thought LLMs were like 100xing my output and quality, using them right, that's the main thing, is like learning how to work with this stuff so you're actually getting quality and not just like slop. So it's all about just using it. So many people, I think, just try it like once or twice and they don't really get it, and they see the output is not that good, and then they're like, oh, I don't like it, and they give up. So we're the ones that stick with it and learn how to master this stuff, and I think those skills are going to pay off, not just from like helping us with our tasks and our life to make our lives easier, but just having this skill in the future and like evolving and getting better with this stuff and being on the cutting edge of this. Our value as like human beings in the world is going to be just massive. Like, we will be in such high demand from, companies and businesses. I guess that's the same thing, but yeah, just from like all different angles of society. So Masked Mage, somewhat of a token maxer. You're on an enterprise chat, and Claude, no API limits. Thinking API limits. Yeah, I don't understand that. I never thought there were any limits with APIs. But I'm not sure what enterprise chat. I'm not sure what that is. So you have Grok also, but that has limits. You hit the limit in basically 45 minutes. Okay. And I'm hearing more about Grok. At first, I thought Grok was just kind of like, you know, only really valuable for like doing stuff on X. But it sounds like Grok has evolved a ton. And I want to start using Grok more. Especially, it sounds like there's a lot of really good use cases with these agents. Just gotta kind of like learn as I go. But this is so awesome. Like, I really am grateful for this technology and the ability to have the time to learn it. Right now, Grok is only 3 benchmark points behind Fable 5. So I haven't checked the stats recently, but I believe it. That's kind of what I'm seeing. And that is, because from what I understand too, Grok is much cheaper. But it sounds like you're hitting your limit a lot quicker. So there's still a lot I got to learn with Grok. It's just really bad for the environment. Elon uses his own coal plants to run X. Yes. And I was thinking about that too, and it's like I would like to see some actually I want to look into that. I'm gonna look into something real quick that I was just thinking of that I wanted to look up. So I have a question about the environmental impact of AI and all these data centers. And basically what I'm wondering is like how much of an impact, like a negative impact, is this having on the environment? Because could you compare it with things like, you know, people driving cars and like CO2 from cars, or like, you know, just people running appliances, like the average house, the amount of electricity that it burns. Like, I think a lot of this stuff in the media is making it sound like, you know, these data centers are gonna like destroy the environment. But really, like, what does that compare to people like, you know, just like all the cars being driven on the road, or like, you know, other things that are bad for the environment? Saying the grid, probably the local grid for his data center couldn't support it, so he made his own power plants at the data center. That is definitely, you know, on one hand, it's like power plants probably are worse for the environment than however that grid was set up originally, but on the other hand, it's like, I'm sure that grid wasn't just for his data center. That seems to be the issue, is like, another issue I'm hearing is like some of these towns that are getting these data centers, they're getting like outages because the data center is taking so much power that the town can't use their power. The environmental impact of AI data centers is significant and growing rapidly, but compared to global transport, cars, planes, or heating, cooling our homes, it's still a relatively small slice of the pie. Data center versus driving cars. AI's projected carbon footprint represents less than 1% of the total emissions generated by global transit. So that's really nothing compared to like people that drive a car. So it's like anybody who's like, you know, I guess like, yeah, I get it. There's probably better ways to make data center energy use more efficient. Instead of like, you know, using coal, using like natural energy of some sort, or like, you know, like you know, Elon especially, he's all about the electricity and generating free or like solar and stuff like that. But basically, at the end of the day, when I did not understand this, not even now, but the projected carbon footprint is less than 1% of total emissions generated by global transit. I mean, that's major. That's saying like, if people have a problem with a data center causing too much pollution and effect on the environment, and they're driving a car, then it's like, you know, the car is much worse for the environment than a data center using AI, from what I'm getting. So it messes up the frequency of the power. I think I know what you mean. Like it messes up the frequency of the power that is being like in that one data set or in the grid. So like anybody else that's attached to that grid is their frequency of the power is getting messed up. Every house would need a pure sine wave inverter or something in order to make appliances not break when the power is overused on the grid. Hard to explain, but worth talking to AI about. Definitely. This is stuff I want to understand better, because I'm definitely getting that pushback from a lot of people. You know, oh, I'm just like, you know, I'm out here and I don't understand the effect that AI, and I'm using AI so much and it's having a bad effect on the environment. And it's like, well, yeah, I got to understand that better. And from what I understand now, it's like, it's really not. I mean, it's bad, but it's like, what are we going to do? Stop using AI? Stop using the internet? I think there's just better ways in the future to move forward with making this work better for society. So, makes the power frequency choppy or something like that. That's what I was kind of thinking. It just kind of like throws things off. And that's definitely not good. There needs to be, I feel like they could find some solution to it. And this stuff is so new that it's like, you know, anything that's new is going to have issues and problems, I feel like. And it's just going to take time to like make it better. I can't imagine that the way that these data centers process and use energy is going to stay the same. I would only imagine that over time, just like cars. I mean, like, you know, electric cars weren't even a thing like 10 years ago, maybe, if I'm remembering correctly. Like, they were there, but they weren't like, it was rare to see a Tesla on the road or an electric car on the road. Now it's becoming much more mainstream. All the data centers in the world combined account for roughly 1 to 2% of global electricity use. Heating, cooling, and powering the world's buildings accounts for nearly 10% of global carbon emissions. So just like using your air conditioning is worse for the environment than a data center, than using AI. So like cars and appliances are getting more efficient over time, but AI is doing the opposite. But I mean, over time, like it's only been a couple of years since they started building these things, from what I understand. So this is just the beginning. making electricity costs go up for residents. Maybe they could, maybe Elon can start building some data centers on Mars. Find a way. Nitesh, respect every time. Welcome to the chat. Yo. Having some good conversations right now on AI and environmental impact and kind of getting a better idea of how everything is working. About to go back to this building out these agents. Yes, air conditioners are a bigger issue. Makes Earth hotter. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, you need AC when Earth gets hotter, and then AC makes the Earth hotter, so then you need more AC. And I'm saying, like, unless it's like 100 degrees or like, you know, 90 to 100 degrees, I like the heat. I think heat is good for humans. I think our systems operate more efficiently when we are warm rather than cold. But I know, like, some people, you know, they feel better when they're cooler. But not me. Like, I like tropical places. I like the heat. All of this is compounding together. It's not just about the data centers, but a bigger picture. Definitely. The data center also needs to be cooled. It uses AC also. People drive the car to get there, etc. Yep. And you don't think that one prompt has enough insight to have a settled opinion? Definitely not, especially when it's like this early. You know, this is gonna play out, I think, a lot more in the future, and a lot more data centers are gonna be built. I think a lot more solutions are gonna be found. You know, it's gonna be interesting, but I think definitely the main thing is that it's possible to, like, make everything more efficient over time. And, you know, the war, like, as someone like me, I'm super, like, I really love nature. I love being in nature. I've especially spending, you know, in certain regions of the world, I travel a lot, and I know certain regions, like, the climate change is really not that noticeable, whereas other places, like being in the mountains, it's very noticeable, or being, like, you know, on the coast, it's very noticeable in certain places. So, like, a lot of people in the world really don't notice it, but other people, depending on where you are, notice it a ton. And, like, I really, you know, the environment means way more to me than AI. You know, even if I was given a check, like, given money, like, okay, like, you know, well, you know, you can't plant your food anymore. We'll just give you money to buy your food. No, like, I would rather have the environment nice and be able to appreciate the environment. So that's more important than AI to me. But I think it's just like, you know, there's a lot of other things out there, and everything needs to be more efficient, and I think that it's possible to do. And you think that America will likely have a water crisis before a solution? Definitely. And they already are having water crises. You know, rivers are close to drying up. Some bigger rivers, some smaller rivers have already dried up. Water tables are being depleted. I think, like, certain, like, areas in America are trying to, like, you know, get permission to build pipelines to take, like, water from the Great Lakes down to, like, the Southwest, like, crazy stuff. Like, these things should have been taken care of, like, it shouldn't have had to get this far, and it needs to get better before it gets, like, worse. Like, we need to, like, definitely do something about this, but, you know, it's unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there that don't care about the environment, and that think, like, you know, that if they can just make a lot of money, that it'll make up for. Like, well, if everybody's making more money and then it doesn't matter. And no, it does. Because if you can't drink water, like, if you can't breathe the air, if the air is making you sick and the water is making you sick, all the money in the world can't help you. Give thanks for life and health and strength. The Most High provides, but, you know, money comes and goes. The environment, like, once it's gone, we're all, you know, we will not exist. And then the environment will, like, repair itself slowly over time, but hopefully. But if we're not here anymore, then, like, what's the point? It's not just about AI. Like, beef is way more than AI, yes. And not only that, but, like, the beef, like the cattle, the mass cattle farms that I've seen in, like, places like Texas. I mean, it's not just the impact on the environment, but the way that they're treating these animals is insane to me. Like, how can you as a human being, like, just pile all these animals into, like, this one area like that and give them a life like that, and then to know that, like, you're eating that meat from an animal that's been through that kind of stress and, like, pumped full of all kinds of chemicals, like, it's not good for us. I mean, but people, like, look at it like, yeah, but the cost of, like, you know, just like GMO, you know, plants, it's like, well, okay, but if every plant is GMO and you replace all the, like, you know, landrace, like, plants with GMO plants, the GMO is not good for our systems. And this has all happened within the past couple hundred years. You know, humans have existed for thousands of years. And the way things have gotten so bad in the past couple hundred years, like, we need to get this fixed quick. But at the same time, you know, like, people aren't going to stop driving cars. People aren't going to stop eating beef. But yeah, it's I think people are going to look back in the future and be like, man, we really messed up. Like, those were some dark ages. We had no idea how stupid we were being. You know, we were just so, like, blinded by all this money and this, like, you know, whatever, that we didn't realize, like, how important the environment was. So, you know, we just gotta be, like, be better about it, I guess. I don't know what the solution is, just making it, helping people understand how important the environment is. Going back about 150 years, yep, and it's not even that long. And that's, like, if things have gotten this bad in only 150 years, wow, the next 150 need to make some big changes. We built our water storage systems in the middle of a desert. Yes, so many things we've done have been just so backwards. You only know how important water is once you haven't had anything to drink for a few days. Or until you go I love mountain biking out in the desert, and as much as I love it, like, it helps me understand, like, I've been close to dehydrated so many times, and carrying, like, gallons of water in my backpack on, like, a mountain bike going over rocks and stuff. And most people, like, have no idea. Most people are actually, like, dehydrated, like, more than 50% dehydrated most of the time. Most people are drinking tap water that has chlorine, that's, like, making them, like, you know, not giving them the hydration they need. Most people really don't understand, but as someone who does a lot of, like, high elevation training and training in the desert, I'm very aware of how hydrated I am and how being just a little bit dehydrated can affect my decision-making process and other things. Yup, 3 days without water and you're gone. It wouldn't take long. If something happened to where, you know, the water supply in America just, you know, got bad, you know, 3 days would go by real quick. 3 weeks without food. And, yeah, we gotta find a solution to the pollution. Hopefully, and I think the main thing is, like, too many people aren't taking it seriously. People, I think, like, these bigger corporations, like, especially, they need to take it more seriously. But anyways, back to the build, back to building out these agents. I think maybe there's like some kind of like app I can build or something that is helping people understand, bringing more awareness. That's a good thing to think about. I'm gonna take a note of that right now. Research building an app that can bring awareness to energy usage and just pollution and help people be more aware of like how much of an impact you know, energy has and how important it is. Yeah, no, I gotta be the solution. And I know I myself, I'm all about eating the ITAL organic, keeping it spring water, keeping my my imprint down. But AI, I don't understand it that much. Like my AI usage compared to like, you know, just driving around in a car. I don't know. I got to get more educated on that. Thank you for the sub. Respect every time, Masked Mage. And good talking to you. Hope to see you back. There's good reasoning about the energy stuff. It's good to see people who recognize how big of an issue this is and see the need for change. Welcome to the chat, Rahil. 53. Respect every time. Pick up yourself. Hope you're doing good. What am I vibe coding? So right now I am vibe coding agents to help me with the marketing workflows for Stackivate. And also, so like the first part of this workflow, I had an agent do the research for this week and learned a lot of cool new things. Basically, having a fleet of agents with the marketing, and also part of it is like building on new features each week. So it's not just agents with marketing, but part of it is agents that will build on new features that I get from the research that will include marketing, because like the new features will have like SEO and AEO. So I got to train these agents so that they're able to like create marketing where I'm still the human in the loop, where I need to be, and also code new features with the marketing, the correct kind of marketing in it. No doubt. So right now, um, gonna do some thumbnails for the first video that I got from this research. And while I'm doing these thumbnails, I just wanted to get feedback from you, make sure I understand this correctly. So you're saying that like each week I'm doing 2 to 3 different videos, and because like, you know, I'm doing one video that's going to be like, this video is like based on the research and where fintech is going, that should be one specific agent that always does that one style of video. And you're saying like another agent would be, you know, the new feature that should be implemented from this research. I'm not sure if there'd be an agent that would like code the feature, and then another agent that does the video. But I guess for right now, I should just be focused on like the video agents and understanding this. I can get into that coding agent later. So am I understanding this correctly, that I should have a different agent for each style of video, and that one agent for each style of video will cover everything for the video, like thumbnails, and the kit with like the visual aid. It's not like a different agent for the thumbnail and a different agent for like the script. It's like the one agent covers all those things. Because from what I understood before is maybe I should have different agents that just do thumbnails. I guess that's the main thing I'm confused about. Let me know if I'm understanding this correctly. Help me understand what I don't understand. I will generate those thumbnails and come back to you. And for right now, just let me know if there's anything I need to be doing differently, also with like storing the information that we're getting from making these videos in the database to help train the agents when I actually deploy them. Change it to some lo-fi. Head bopping lo-fi. Head button and head bopping. Say rah. Alright. Got a 95% right. That's good to hear. At least it connected right back. I'm gonna have to figure that out. Looking back at the chat, Rahil is building a lead gen engine for your agency. And it pulls everything on a prospect. IG signals, reviews, business info, then uses Vision AI to judge content quality, plus scores them against their ideal client. That sounds very interesting. Also drafts outreach messages and learns from what converts over time. No auto send though. You hit send yourself. Same here. I make sure that definitely human in the loop, make sure that everything is right. As much as AI is super valuable, I do not trust it to send things. I gotta make sure that it's like not sending something bad or stupid. So sounds like you understand this very well. And are you doing like is this an agent that is like gonna do this stuff autonomously, or is it like a project where you just like work with the AI, kind of like working with Claude? But that is really awesome. I think need to take a note on this to do some research, because I'm not specifically working with like lead generation yet, but I think some of the businesses I'll be building in the future will be more geared towards like lead generation. Okay, so it is multiple agents, a team in your own CRM. That's awesome. And this is so awesome because like we can build custom CRMs, and like I've already built out one custom CRM, and it's so much better than... All right, I gotta figure this out. OBS, I thought I fixed it, and then I had no interruptions, and now it's like cutting out again. As long as it's like coming right back on, I feel like I don't need to end the stream. So hopefully it stops cutting out like that. I was just having a conversation with somebody in the chat about their agents and their lead gen, And I'm not doing lead gen right now with the business my first business, but I do have the intention of doing some kind of lead gen with a future business model. So I'm gonna attach a screenshot of the conversation I'm having, and just kind of like give me like some feedback of like what you understand of like what's going on here, and I'll take that as a note for later for implementing this stuff in my own customized way. I took a screenshot about some good ideas for lead gen agents. It was working fine. Now it's just cutting out left and right. All right. Maybe it's not. I think I might have set that, even though it's cutting out, I think it's not actually cutting out on the stream because I had made that different setting. So hopefully that's the case. But yeah, if anybody on the stream is seeing that it's like cutting in and out, let me know and I will do a fix real quick. But I think for now it's good. It's not that big of a deal. I can just wait till after the stream to figure this out, what's going on. All right, back to the build. Awesome, now it's fine. Cool. All right, so I'm not finding the renders, or the screen, the thumbnail prompts. So I'm looking in the file explorer or the project folder, and I'm seeing like these scripts, and then there's like templates and thumbnails. So like from what I understand before, like, you know, the script also had the thumbnail prompts at the end of it. So am I not seeing this? What is the name of this script? Because it looks to me like all the scripts I see are ones I already did. And then basically the one thing I'm confused on that seems like a real small deal off of everything you just mentioned is that you're saying when I edit a kit before recording, let the edit be captured. But so far I haven't had to edit any kit. I've just given you the actual video for you to do the editing, and then you can ingest the basically like the transcript of what I'm saying. And it sounds like you're already doing that, and you're already able to match it up with what the script says, and then note, like, you know, because I'm ad-libbing most of it, so you're able to note what I actually said versus what the script said. But I'm not seeing any like need to edit the actual script. I can just like ad-lib it. But I think what you're saying is if there's ever a time that I do need to edit it, then I can bring it to you. But so far, I haven't had that issue. So that being said, it sounds like if that's the case, then I don't really need to do anything different that I've already been doing. And help me understand that, and also help me find the information for this video that has the thumbnail prompts on it, and I'll get those images to you so we can train the agent on how to make these images better. And one more question. I'm wondering, have I already done like the deep research on the thumbnail prompt styles that are working the best in this niche? I think I have, but I just want to make 100% sure. See, I keep doing it. I know I should be just asking one question at a time, but I feel like these are not that big of questions, so it's not that big of a deal. I can tell I'm still getting, even if I'm asking like kind of 2 different questions in the same prompt, they're like minor questions. But if I'm doing something bigger, than like doing a research or something like that, I would definitely keep it at just 1 prompt. Looking back at the chat, what am I using to AI code? And why can't you see what am I prompting? So mostly using Claude. Mostly been using Codex for auditing, but you should be able to see what I'm prompting, because like what I'm seeing on my screen for what's streaming, it's showing my prompts. So if you're still not, like, I just did that prompt right now, I'm gonna scroll up, like right there, and like I was just like speaking it out loud too. So if you're not seeing that for this, I don't understand what's going on. Welcome back to the chat, C-Films. How am I doing? I was doing pretty good until the internet just started cutting in and out. So now I'm like just scrambling, trying to figure out why the stream is being and now ready to get back working. But this internet issue is I think you're consistently working on your project. Alright, so I'm gonna go back to working on that. Whoa. Now that's so weird. Oh man. Why is it doing this now to the text? Okay, so this is a good task to do while I'm figuring out the internet thing. I'm gonna do some deep research with Fable 5. Things at once, and I think that yeah, I just lost that whole. I gotta say that over again. Oh man, these problems are compounding. Thumbnails. And once you finish the research, apply what you learned to create new styles of thumbnails so it doesn't change the thumbnails that I've already been like working on and building with the styles already. And I can just generate the new styles and split test them with the old styles. There we go. I think I might need to reset my internet. I think, I hope not. Let me see what, alright, we got the, diagnosis back. They're saying it's T-Mobile's cell tower being overloaded tonight. It's not the router, not the Wi-Fi, not OBS. So I need to get what you call it, like a cable internet. You know, I've been doing this for I don't know how many months now and never had that problem until now. So looking back at the chat, your stock analysis is going well and you're learning a lot. That is awesome. That is awesome. Hopefully you're learning what I'm learning is that AI is trying to take over investing. That's the main thing I keep getting on these research runs is that all these banks and brokerages are implementing AI to make all the decisions for people. And I see that as being like really, really bad. Not just that people aren't learning and making their own decisions, which, you know, I think is like is gonna be, if you learn and make your own decisions and develop your own style, you're gonna do way better than AI over time. But also, if AI makes a mistake, the way that the laws are being like written right now is that AI is not held accountable, the bank is not held accountable, the brokerage is not held accountable. So you just have to take a loss if AI makes a mistake. So it's good to see that people are actually like, you know, putting in the work themselves. Because it's really not that much work, and I think it's super interesting.